Yep. Ding, ding, let's go. So, just the way that I live my life and my priorities and what I hold near and dear, what I hold as sacred and important, all these things. I've noticed that the more that I prioritize the sort of clarifying and expanding of my general perception, I've noticed that things like inspiration to translate essentially into verbal inspiration and encouragement and things like that, it's easier for me, seemingly easier for me than most other people. And that just is what it is. I'm not gloating, bragging, any of that. But it goes in line with this video's topic, which is everyone can offer someone something. Now, this isn't a blanket statement like, oh, this is absolutely true for absolutely everyone, because there are some people that just, whether it be through their upbringing or through their, brain chemistry, etc. Some people do seemingly just want to watch the world burn, right? So, but I'm talking about generally the people that are moving and grooving in life already, that have some sort of connection to themselves and just making their way through the world. A certain level of social ability and wherewithal to make things different, make things happen, right? Things like that. So, the fact that people are so unique in their expression, like I've met hundreds of people, maybe more than 1,000 people in my line of work. Yeah, if we're talking about children, yeah, that's easily like plus or minus 3,000 people. If we're counting children are people, yes, but adults too, just people. And honestly, if you're in situations where you're meeting friends of family, friends of friends, meeting people in your workspace, maybe you have clientele, people online, just people from all walks of life, different cultures and things like that. But even people in the same culture where we have had our upbringings and, our ups and downs, our traumas and our glory, right? And everything in between, where, sorry if I'm, moving my mouth around a lot in different ways. I just ate a bunch of cashews. Anyway, just the fact that, and by the way, in this video and in all videos, it may seem at times like I'm rambling, but I'm adding context to the overall topic, which is you, the person watching this video, you have something to offer people, and to offer people regularly. Now, it may seem like hustle and grind culture, like, keep making content, keep doing this, keep your ear to the streets, keep grinding, rise and grind, and all that stuff. Like, keep going, keep doing. And there's a sliver of truth to that, but a lot of that grind and hustle culture leads to burnout. Go figure. I'm talking about the consistent giving in balance where we're giving of ourselves and it feels natural. We don't feel like a pull on our being. We don't feel like our battery is draining unnecessarily so. Obviously, for people, you do your work and then you get to a point where you're like, I'm tired, time to rest, or I'm tired, time to go to sleep. Whatever, it's our natural biology. So we, in a sense, get drained naturally, but I'm talking about being around, those supposed energy vampires, call them whatever you want, but people that don't appreciate your value and they're trying to get more out of you than you're actually willing to give. Like, F all that, like, honestly, like, F those people. It's honestly our job. This is an extra side note for, well, everybody, but especially for people pleasers, where it's like, hey, listen, there's got to be a certain point where we're like, you know what? This isn't an equal, a fair, and mutual give and take. I'm giving, and you're not really reciprocating it. And it's our job as individuals to see that, to use our intuition, our discernment, see it for what it is, and remove ourselves ever so slightly, perhaps, but ever so officially. Definitely. So, to forward the topic of today's video, which is we all have things to offer, and I further that by saying we all can find spaces, workspaces, friends groups, subreddits, plenty of communities online as well, where we are appreciated, we're being received, and the giving that we're giving is natural because it's who we are. It seems like there's a fair portion, I'm not going to say a lot of people, I'm going to say a fair portion of the population, a considerable portion of the population just doesn't understand that giving can be just a natural byproduct of being strong and confident and okay and having esteem with who we are. It can just happen. We have our esteem, we have our confidence, we have our natural sense of pride in ourselves, where we can just be who we are and feel naturally able and willing and enjoying the giving and the sharing. It may not be natural, seemingly natural to you at this point, which is neither here nor there. And if we want to be in a place where we're just giving naturally because we enjoy it, to want that, the intention is essentially the core of the completion, where we set the intention. I want to feel so good in myself, so good about myself, that giving just feels good. Being myself just feels good, right? To just want that, just feel about that. Just, we give ourselves the time to sit in that space, to be in that space, just to exist, to coexist with the feelings of inadequacy and, nah, that's not real and true for me. But if there's a general desire, like, I want to feel like so cool with myself that I'm just giving and sharing and like playing around and like having fun, just being me, just living it up, right? It is a reality. It is a truth. It can be. And you don't have to just take my word for it. Yes, I have been experiencing that in recent times, but it's taken a lot of work, a lot of intention, a lot of consistency and follow through, and just that wanting to feel comfortable in my own skin. It just is the way it is. Continuing. We all have things to offer people. Whether it be offering ourselves in certain ways to people, offering help with people, with animals, with nature, right? Where it's like, we can plant seeds, figuratively and literally. Like, you know, one of the many, I subjectively have noticed that if I'm feeling, in a bad spot, physically, mentally, emotionally, if I have enough of the wherewithal, enough of the gusto to put myself forth enough to just do something simple, whether it be for myself or for others or for the earth, the world, like just doing something simple, whether it be doing the dishes or organizing something or just sending a message, sending a text, doing something online, making a comment on a video or whatever, where it's like that giving, even this, we'll say especially in those moments of like, I just don't want to do anything, I just want to just sit around. And there's much benefit to be had in resting, in recalibrating, and just being nothing for a little while, and then just getting back into something eventually. Like, that's totally fine and totally cool. But I've noticed that, and it's not just me, it's plenty of authorities in the field of psychology and, dare I say, self-help, even though it's like a loaded term and a very, flooded, saturated market. Wherever you can find benefit, to be honest, like, even if it's coming from some, like, random person, who's like doing like a selfie stick or just a front-facing camera and just like drunk on the streets, and then they say something, you can take it, you can internalize it and be like, you know what, like, that random drunk dude has got a point, at least in my life, subjectively. So, and the spiritual wise ones, the masters and the sages, etc., many of them have said things along the lines of, you get to a certain point in your awakening, my terminology would be, in your self-clarifying to self-expand, you get a certain part on the clarifying and expanding path where you can get inspiration and wisdom and teachings from a leaf falling off a tree, from a frog, from someone dropping their avocados in the supermarket, from getting cut off in traffic. Wisdom, teachings, inspiration can come from anything at a certain point. And I'm not even saying, like, you got to do all this, self-clearing work and meditation and whatnot, and contemplation and journaling, even though that stuff, yes, like, that stuff's awesome. But, like, if you take heed, and take to heart certain concepts like this, where there's wisdom, inspiration, and teachings in anything, you can take that to heart, and, mere seconds after you take that to heart, something can happen, and you can go into that mode, like that symbolic, dreamlike mode where it's like, that is meaningful. What is it showing me? Boom. And then you can get something. The wisdom, the inspiration, the teaching, right? It can happen. It can happen damn near instantly. Life is awesome like that. But perhaps, arguably, it may require a bit of receptivity, a bit of openness to new thought, new perspective, right? Perhaps, right? One of the many things that has helped my sort of fluidity and receptivity to allow more clarifying and more expanding is not speaking in absolutes. Absolutely don't speak in absolutes. There's the, oxymoron, the catch-22, whatever. But there's another, side quest that you could try out, like not speaking in absolutes, like instead of, oh, that person's definitely a POS. It can be, that guy, at least from what I've seen, is doing some pretty nefarious nonsense. If this person is who I think it is, it sounds like I don't want to hang out with this person, right? So that is speaking also with like sort of a mental, emotional, spiritual kind of neutrality and grace and fluidity and just flow through, right? It's like the concept of retreating backwards, where someone's trying to argue with you and you're just agreeing with them, nodding, agreeing, like all the while, like you're like facing them, but like walking backwards, nodding, agreeing, facing them, but walking backwards, and then walking backwards up the stairs into a bus, and then you're out of there, right? Like that concept. So let's close this video off. It's gotten long enough, even though I would argue that this is all context giving and inspiration, gusto, juice, explosives, TNT, dynamite. So just to wrap it up, the fact that we, with a little bit of effort, if needed, can be with ourselves to, how would I put this home? How would I bring it home? The fact that we're even alive, being one person, a unique expression in a landscape of billions of humans, we, with the unique expression, do, by design, have something unique and helpful in terms of having a unique perspective, a unique upbringing, so that we have fresh eyes for someone, for some group, for some organization, to benefit whatever it is that we're involved in, that we're involving ourselves in. And just the plain Jane, just cosmic existential neutrality example is just being there, an extra set of eyes, a warm body to provide some change, some bit of contrast to what already is going on. that change, that contrast being put forth in an otherwise unfilled space, you're filling in that space. It can be holding something, transferring something, saying something. You are changing the landscape of life itself. Now I'm talking about the simple, the kind of broad, the general examples. That these situations are all very true and can be very true for you. And then, it really deserves a second video, but like the deeper stuff, when we develop more and more depth, having a deeper and deeper skill or skills, speaking, writing, creative endeavors, art, management, architecture, religion, spirituality, business, some of many immersions where we can be involved in and have deep depth and skills and wherewithal to give. The deeper depths we have, the more we can give, the more it can snowball, exponentialize, have a deeper impact on other people, other groups, organizations, of Earth, nature, abroad. That's the deep stuff. That's the even more awesome stuff. We don't have to say more or less awesome, even though to an extent I'm saying it. But to put a nice bow on, to put a nice cherry on top, the awesomeness that is to be exemplified, to be zoomed in on, to be honed in on, to be celebrated, that I'm mentioning in this video. The celebration, the awesomeness is you, is me. The fact that we're even alive and able to do things, to enact change. And the depth of change is up to us. Whatever we're willing to do, however deep we're willing to go within ourselves, in the internal and in the external, in the metaphysical and the physical. Our depth is at our discretion, but the fact that we're even alive, able to enact change as a unique expression is awesome, is glorious, and we are here for it. Literally, physically and metaphysically, here for it. And then we could say, in terms of the heart and the soul gusto, the more and more here for it that we are, the deeper we go, the more awesome that it gets. Straight up. Plain Jane, done deal, mic drop. Let's end the video with some respects. Respect to you. Respect to me. Respect to life. The fact that all of this is working out to the extent that it is. Some stuff isn't working out. Some stuff is. But I'm talking about the sort of cosmic symbiosis of the working out. The layers of our body, the physical, the mental, emotional, the fact that we're able to process all this stuff in our perception, the fact that we're able to hear and communicate with the heart, the soul, the intuition, with God, with the universe. A lot of that stuff is synonymous. The fact that this is all going on, that we're able to communicate on the internals and the externals and make waves, make quote-unquote names for ourselves, but not names in terms of our persona and our legacy, even though that's awesome. I'm talking in terms of our etching in the cosmos. Here we are. We're doing it, and let's keep doing it deeper. Right? This is Mac 11. Catch you later.